3 months. I almost have to wonder, do we even remember how to do this stuff?
Just like riding a bicycle, just a very large one.
And one that we haven't finished paying for yet.
Yeah, well.
As you know, we live in the American South. We don't have to winterize the Falcon. We never have in either of our two campers. Nonetheless, sometimes winter has the effect of winterizing us.
Yes.
Between winter weather and illness and work and blah, blah, excuses. We haven't been out in 3 months. But hey, that streak ends today. We are off to Alexander H. Stevens State Park. I think it's the full name.
A.H. Stevens State Park.
Crawfordville, Georgia, which is 65 miles from home. So that's kind of our channel philosophy. 50 miles from home, adventure can be found. So we're close to it.
A.H. Stevens is named after Alexander Stevens, who was the Vice President of the Confederacy. There's a recreation of his home. I think it's Liberty Hall. So we hope to get to see that up close and personal. Plus, there's a museum of the Confederacy there, and it, I believe, is one of the best ones in the state of Georgia, which is kind of surprising, knowing Atlanta has one as well. But stick around. We'll see what we can get into.
Hello. We're first-time visitors, so we don't know which way, how. And here we are. You know how it goes. A little bit after 3:30. I'm gonna make this quick because I'm hungry. I gotta get there and get something to eat. Alexander Stevens State Park, as we told you. This is site 17. And gotta say it first thing. We're in Georgia. Concrete picnic tables. Boo hiss. That's out the way. Okay, here we go. Pull through site. Very, very easy to get in. For us, it was one of the easier lineups we had. This utility arrangement I have some issues with. I'll show you real quick if I can see it from here. The power plug, well, can't see it from that side. Let me show you this side. The power plug is damaged. I don't know if you can see it. I'm not crazy about that. I'm gonna go talk to the camp host about that. We've got power, but I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that thing being damaged like that, so I'm gonna mention it to him. But anyway, you see, pull through sight. Let me get out here to the street level so you can see how it looked as we approached. This is 17. And you see, generous entryway. I like the view. We have nothing but nature on our campsite side. And as you can see, it is a Thursday afternoon, so the weekend crowd probably hasn't rolled in. Very, very quiet at the moment. That structure has some significance, but I haven't done my research yet, so I can't tell you what it is, but I will before all is said and done. This is it. I told you it'd be short and sweet. Again, mid-afternoon, but we ate lunch early, so I'm hungry. I'm gonna sign off and go in here and dig out a snack if Jessie's got the kitchen set up yet. I hope she does. And I don't know what else we will do this evening. As usual, we will probably chill, start with the real adventure and exploring tomorrow. But as always, if we do something, we'll let you know about it. And if not, we will see you tomorrow. And top of the morning to you, or mid of the morning to you. As usual, we slept away half the day, half the morning.
Oh, it's the weekend.
Yeah. It is kind of a mini vacation after all. Cut us some slack. We're going to go check out this structure that I pointed out yesterday. We were told that was a fire observance, fire watch tower built by the CCC back in the days. So we're going to walk over and check that out first thing before we venture deeper into the park. Off we go. Okay, let's go up the stairs. Is this way up? Oh, it's
The warden's bedroom.
bunkage.
Isn't that kind of ironic? We're in a fire tower and the fire alarms.
You have a point. I hope the CCC managed to keep it warmer when they were living in it.
It's quite chilly today.
Let's see what the next level might show. So this is the big water tank they were telling us about.
It's not the original, but let's say 3,500 gallons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was the water supply for Camp Liberty as it was before it was a state park. I'm guessing this empty area was probably the piping for the water supply, because there's and then that spot right there was probably some kind of egress for the water, the piping, I'm guessing. I don't know, I'm no engineer. What did I say, 60 feet?
Yes.
60 feet in the air. Oh, I bet we could see the falcon.
Oh, sure.
There, look, there he is.
Yep.
That's our boy. Okay, so that's the tower, the water tower. Ooh, I bet it's 10 degrees warmer right here. Concrete floors in February, folks.
Yeah.
It leads for a cold enclosure. I guess we'll come up with early lunch and then we'll head over to the front of the park and check out the other buildings. And here we are at Liberty Hall and the Confederate Museum. We're checking in with you before we go in because, as you saw from Fort McAllister, if we walk in with this GoPro, we might get busted. So we're going to hide you guys until we get inside, pay the admission, and then get deeper in, and then we'll surreptitiously sneak you back out and let you see what's happening. So hang tight.
All right, so let me give you a little background information about this particular site. Alexander Stevens' home from 1843 to 1883. They had a remodel, rebuild, or whatever you want to call it, in 1875. And it has been completely refurbished, redone to be the way it was then. There are actually a lot of items here that belonged to Alexander Stevens. I believe his bedroom has all of his original furniture even. So they've done a really good job at preserving this. So let's take a look.
Now, have we read these were guest quarters or extended family quarters?
I know one of them is the slave quarters. It was a husband and wife.
Oh,
and their children.
The domestic servants.
Yes. The dog, Rio, and it was written by the half-brother of Alexander Stevens, Linton Stevens.
Another important member of the family.
And oddly enough, buried with his brother and not a wife.
Oh, well, I was talking about the dog. You're talking about Linton.
Well,
the dog is an important member of the family, too.
Well, yeah.
But, I mean, Linton, the half-brother, is also an important member of the family. He's buried beside Vice President Stevens up front. Now, we have yet to determine where Mrs. Stevens is buried. But...
Geez, the dog gets a marker, but we haven't seen one for the wife.
It'll turn up, I guess. Back at the Falcon. Didn't get to vlog very much because Fort McAllister kind of gave us PTSD about taking the camera in there. I got some video with the phone. I got some clips and stuff. Very interesting guided tour that we had.
Yes.
Miss Melanie, the park rangerette who was working in the museum and Liberty Hall, the house, gave us a very thorough
Yes.
guided tour. Very, very personable, very knowledgeable, very talkative. Sorry, Miss Melanie.
She was great.
She was great. But we wanted to be sure to check back in with you before we call it a night, because we did learn that the reason we could not find Mrs. Stevens' gravesite on the ground is because there was no Mrs. Stevens.
Right.
Mr. Stevens was a fairly smart guy. He was a bachelor.
As I'm cooking supper, he says these things.
I'm grilling the steaks.
Says who?
Well, assuming I survive the evening, we're going to call it an evening after I grill some steaks for us and she makes the potatoes. Then we'll call it a night. And tomorrow we get to make another hiking video for you guys. Yay!
Yay!
Like I haven't seen enough of those. We'll check in with you tomorrow. And top of the morning to you. Well, mid-morning to you again. We're going hiking. Going hiking. We're going hiking. Like you've never seen it before.
Right.
Yeah. We're going to hit the Lake Buncombe Nature Trail. The two nature trails here are fairly short.
Mm-hmm.
The horse trails are miles and miles and miles in length if you want to do real in-depth adventure trek hiking. That's your avenue. But those are not open for hikers
On the weekends.
on the weekends.
Yeah.
So we're going to do little ones.
And there are 3. You said 2.
Oh, it's 3. I'm sorry. 3.
One of them's paved. So
That's part, yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll probably have time to do all 3 of them. So.
Yeah.
Aren't you lucky? You get to see all that? Now, research being the challenge that it always is for me, if not both of us. We do know that the Civilian Conservation Corps constructed the lake that we're going to see here in a minute. I'm assuming that this trail was probably like the service road,
I would assume.
because with how wide it is,
Yeah.
and probably still used as a little bit of a service road by the park personnel. And this, as a walking trail, it's one of the wider ones we've seen.
Yes, definitely.
One little thing that used to be like a day use kind of thing, because that picnic table has seen better days, and there's like the remains of what used to be a grill stand over there, but apparently that's not, the park doesn't intend for you to use it for that anymore. There was another fork to the trail up here that I think goes on around like deeper. Ooh, that little footbridge over there, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta go check that out.
Oh, it's a restroom.
Oh, okay.
It's
A privy.
yes, bathhouse.
Hmm.
That's probably the
Okay,
original.
that's, yeah. Yeah, I guess when the CCC built all this, and of course the pioneer and primitive camping came first, so this is probably probably, we don't know for sure, but probably the original bathhouse for the primitive camping. Seems a good guess anyway.
Yeah. Especially the size and make of it.
Huzzah! We found the other nature trail, the other non-paved nature trail. It is right here. This looks to be a bit denser.
Yeah, this is more like a
This
trail.
is more like a walk in the woods. Yeah. What have we here? This looks like some type of nature viewing stand. from which we could possibly see beavers. Possibly. All right, and here we are. All right, where's the beavers? I don't see any beavers.
Me either.
No dirty jokes.
That's what I live with all the time.
I headed back to the Falcon for a sandwich before we go see about that third trail.
Yeah.
We just sat there at this day area here for about 20 minutes. Some viewers caught us and stopped and chit-chatted for about 15 minutes. That was nice.
It was nice.
As we always say, folks, if you see us out in the wild, stop and say hey. It means a lot to us. Just dropped off a couple of stickers with those viewers that we ran across earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Again, what a great thrill that was. We're gonna check out the third trail. This is the paved one.
Yes.
You want to call it a trail.
Yeah.
I mean, they call it a trail, but I don't know how much of a trail it can be if it's paved. But whatever,
it's a walking path.
Whatever it is, we're gonna walk it.
Yeah.
And show you.
If you wanted a handicap or wheelchair accessible
Oh, yeah.
trail, this one would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some routes that make the pavement a little uneven, but
I wouldn't think anything you couldn't get over though.
yeah, overall, this is very nice.
So this is one of the camp hosts was telling us about an artesian spring that fed the lake. So this must be, it must be underneath that structure. That's the pump house. So the spring must be underneath there, and that feeds Lake Liberty that we saw earlier.
Right.
Okay. Fascinating.
I'm thinking that's the pump house according to the
Oh,
picture
did I misread?
because of the window.
Oh, okay.
So I guess
Okay.
the spring is
Right.
in there.
The cistern is in there. Okay, I see. That I understand that. Yeah, the water collection is in there, and I guess all the pumping mechanisms and everything are in there, if I'm reading that correctly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Still fascinating. More fascinating now that we're actually correct. And just like that, we arrive at the end of this fairly short walking trail at the park office and some of the other ranger and maintenance facilities where one, if one were so inclined, could rent a paddle boat and have a paddle about the pond. Top of a rainy morning to you, inside the camper. Once again, we would like to have done mission report outdoors to let you get a little bit of ambiance, but it started raining.
Yep.
And because we can't have a camping trip that it doesn't drizzle at least. So here you go. We're in here. You might hear a little bit of pitter patter on the roof, but.
So instead of inside the truck, we're doing inside the camper.
And we want to avoid having to let you see the inside of the truck again. So we're trying to mix it up for you folks. Mission report. A.H. Stevens State Park, Crawfordville, Georgia.
Okay.
I will certainly give it a more than passing grade.
Absolutely.
I like this place a lot. We had a very quiet weekend. We're old fogies. We're not into raucous, rollicking. We come here for the peace and quiet, and we got it this weekend. So I like it in that respect.
There are 25 regular campsites here. There's also a section for equestrian with a horse stable. But we don't have a horse, so we're here. And we're okay with that. There are 4 cabins also on site.
It looked very nice from the outside.
They sure did. I think they're 2-room cabins right near Liberty.
Lake Liberty.
Lake Liberty.
Speaking of equestrian, we get the impression that that's probably the biggest draw, for lack of a better word. That's the focus of this state park facility outside of the historic site.
Yes.
At the front entrance. Lots and lots and lots of horse trails, miles. I mean, literally miles. I think that there's 4 different horse trails.
Yes.
And the shortest one was 3 miles. I think the longest is 8.
Wow.
Something like that. And those are open to pedestrians during the week.
Monday through Thursday.
We mentioned that while we were hiking the other day. But of course, it's the weekend, so we didn't get to see that. Now, the hiking trails.
Leave a little to be desired.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just there's not really much to see. They're not long enough, in my opinion.
But the paved trail from the campground over to the park office area, that was really nice.
Yeah.
Because since it's accessible to, walking pedestrians, but I believe it's also bikes, but I'd have to double check that.
It is, yeah.
But, anybody that has a wheelchair or, pushing a stroller or something, it'd be a nice leisurely walk.
Speaking of pavement, we should point out all the roadways in the campground, in the equestrian area, everywhere, all the roadways are paved. Very nice pavement, not chopped up, chewed up pavement, very nice pavement. I don't understand why the roadways here are so narrow.
Yeah. It's just the point, it's scary.
And most of the length of the roadways don't have much shoulder to them either. So if you're hauling a big wide rig and all of a sudden somebody's got the same thing you have coming the other direction, you might be in a pickle. We haven't seen that happen, but it's got to happen sooner or later.
Well, and it happened to us. We were exploring, looking around the whole campground and went to look at the cabins and had to back up to let a truck through because there wasn't enough room for 2 vehicles to pass one another. So I don't know what you would do if you were in a camper. The campground was very nice, as we said. It was very quiet.
No full hookups, though.
No, not yet, but we've heard.
We're told that's coming. So.
That's coming, at least for some of them. The bathhouse, or as I guess it's more of a individual...
personal sanitary station.
Instead of a community bathhouse, you have your own private shower and sink and toilet, and, to yourself rather than sharing it with a big room. There is also laundry on site, and oddly enough, the host, we've seen firewood at a host before, but they also have an ice machine. So you can get ice right here at the campsite too. That's a nice convenience if you need it or want it.
Oh, we mentioned our damaged power plug when we were setting up. Yeah. Kudos to the camp hosts here. I reported that just because I figured it'd be a problem for somebody down the line. Less than 30 minutes later, maintenance guy was here and replaced the plug, and done. I didn't expect that. Like I said, we had power. I just figured it'd be a problem for somebody down the line, and they were right on it. So,
absolutely. So
kudos to them on that. And last but certainly not least, want to make mention of Liberty Hall and the Confederate Museum up front. They're actually outside the park. They're right outside the front gate. So you get to them before you get to the entrance of the park when you're coming in. Those are outside of the equestrian stuff, of course. Those are the draws. I mean, that's what the park's named for, is Alexander Stephens. So his home and the Confederate Museum are the big draws. And we did those, as you saw, and very, very nice.
Yes.
Not as big as for some reason, and that's me. It's not the facility's fault at all, but I had it in my mind that it was going to be both facilities would be larger than they are.
Especially the museum. I thought it was going to be.
The museum is pretty much just a loop and it's done. But nonetheless, very, very interesting. With lots of quality exhibits in both facilities and interesting, good reading material.
And a lot of authentic donations from families that have sent authentic items, not recreations. A lot of them are the real thing.
So, if you're history aficionado like we tend to think we are, and you're in the area, $15 for the two of us to go through both facilities and easily, an hour and a half, a couple hours or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, well worth it. Glad we did it.
Absolutely.
And that wraps up Mission 32, Alexander Stephens State Park. Passing grade. I'm sure we will come back at some point. Next on the docket, I'm reluctant to say we're taking a break because I know you folks think that's about all we do is take breaks. This is not 3 months this time, I promise. As we do pretty much every year, spring break, first week of April, we will be taking our big trip of the year.
Yay!
We will be doing the House of Mouse. A week down at Fort Wilderness at Walt Disney World. It's almost a rite of passage. If you're an RVer, you have to do Fort Wilderness at some point. So that's why we didn't book anything in March, because we're going to be getting a few little maintenance bugaboos taken care of, make sure the Falcon's ready for the long ride down there, and then first week of April we will be doing that. So until then, social media, folks, we're always there. Anything happening outside of normal adventures, we'll let you know about there. Please like this video. Give us the thumbs up. That helps a lot. Share it. Friends, family, anybody you can think of. Get the word out. And subscribe. Please do that.
Yes,
that
please.
helps a lot. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. So I guess that wraps everything up. Until then, from Florida possibly. And if anything happens, we might drop in before then. But at least Florida. Until then.
Keep living and learning.